guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides, and I'm back here at Walker Ford in sunny Clearwater, Florida, because guess what? We are going to look at one of Ford's main competitors to their new Ranger in the mid-size pickup truck segment. This is really the class leader, that class standard. This is a 2016 Toyota Tacoma pickup truck. Now, if you don't know much about the Tacoma, believe it or not, Toyota originally started working on this truck all the way back in 1989. The first one did not hit the streets though until 1994, and since then it really has made a big splash on the truck scene. Now, come the mid-2000s, that's when that compact mid-size truck segment kind of dropped down, but now we have this 2016. This is the first year of this redesign. Let's go ahead and take a look at this 2016 Toyota Tacoma. I love the aggressive styling. I'll be honest, I've never really been the biggest of truck people, but when I see a Toyota Tacoma, it has an aggressive look to it. I like the styling of the headlight housings. You have the fog lamps, and this really cool desert khaki color really fits the truck well. I like what Toyota did with the opening of the grille, the Toyota emblem, the silver chrome to kind of match that. And then as we work our way down, you can see, now this truck doesn't have the TRD off-road package, so you're not finding any metal skid plates or anything like that. And another thing is, you hear that? Knock, knock. Who's there? That's plastic. That's plastic molding front bumper. That's something I would like to see metal on the front of it. But I do really like the style of the front end, and it really is a great place for a mid-size to be. I know a lot of people are always like, who needs a mid-size truck? Why not just get a full-size? Well, something like this, you could park in a garage and not have a problem. With this XP setup, what I love are these nice, beautiful wheels. I love the finish on it. There's a 17-inch wheel. Really gives it a more off-road rugged look, even though this does not have the 4x4 off-road package on it. I'm gonna go ahead and have Tom zoom in and show you the suspension geometry with the upper and lower control arms and the springs and everything. Nicely done, because you have a nice amount of space between the fender and the top of that tire. Gives it a really great look, whether you are going down a dirt trail or just driving around the streets here in Clearwater, Florida. Love the styling of the four doors. Very nice additional step bar here to get in and out. Just overall, the truck, the fit and finish, when you close these doors, they sound solid. Very nice, solid feel. Let's work our way towards the back here. You can see how the truck sits from front to rear. Has a nice cohesive look to it. I do like the body lines that they put into the rear bed of the truck. Really just gives it that muscular, masculine feel to it. And then to wrap it out back, I really like the tailgate. You got the Tacoma name embossed with the black coloring to really make it pop. You got your backup camera, your tow hitch hookup, and then back here you have these bumpers. Now what's really nice is when you open up the tailgate, it does have that nice soft landing, so you don't have to worry about it slamming down. Pretty good size bed to be able to fit what you want. Now this one, obviously being pre-owned, has a tonneau cover over the back, but it does have a bed liner really nicely done. Not the most amount of tie-down hooks back here. There's a few, but that's one of the things that I think as we went from 2016 to 2019, there are changes along the way. Let's go ahead and check out underneath the hood, because you might be surprised what's lurking there. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, here we are underneath the hood of the 2016 Toyota Tacoma. That's the surprise. With the Tacoma, you do have some options when it comes to engines. That's that 3.5 liter V6 engine. You're looking at 278 horsepower, 265 foot-pounds of torque. It's mated to the only transmission available. It is a 6-speed automatic transmission. If you're wondering what can you tow with this, you're looking at 6,800 pounds. When it comes to MPGs, 19 in the city, 24 on the highway. Remember, this mid-sized truck segment is really firing up over the past few years. The Toyota Tacoma is the standard, but there's the GMC Canyon, you have the Chevy Colorado, you have the Nissan Frontier, and that all-new Ford Ranger that we brought to you here at Walker Ford. If I am going to zonk underneath this, it's definitely going to be this setup. A lot of people always hate the zonks when it comes to the pop rods. No different on this Toyota Tacoma. Another major thing to zonk is not just the prop rod, but this hood, it surprised the heck out of me. It's a pretty heavy hood, and it's not even that large of a hood, which is interesting. So if we're gonna zonk underneath the hood, it's definitely this. And it's also 6-speed transmission, kind of dated there. You know, when you look at the new Ranger, you got a 10-speed transmission. So those are things that we're looking at underneath the hood. Let's go ahead and fire up this V6 and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this 2016 Toyota Tacoma. Now, even though this is pre-owned, it's still a good marker point because, remember, 2016 was the first year of this design of the Tacoma, and this is pretty much, they have not really changed it much since. So this really is a good one to look at here at Walker Ford. Let's go to the door panels. Very, very simple. I do like the way they broke up the black with some of the gray on the armrest and how it spills into the back portion of the door, but there's just a lot of harder plastic that's a little closer to the front of the door. And then you have that silver trim around where the window switches are and whatnot. Now, I do like that there's 2 cup holders in the door for drinks, so that's a nice touch. Now, when you come in, I like the way the dash is pushed forward. What I don't like is, you know, some of these materials need to be a little, I think, brightened up. I like to see a little bit different contrast between the gray and the black because it's pretty dark in here overall. The silver, maybe in 2016 this was like really hot. I'm gonna say this isn't hot anymore. And this infotainment system, you could see from 2016 to 2019, we've come a long way in 3 years. This thing is very, very small. I mean, it almost feels like something from the 90s, to be honest with you, but just, you know, not really the best when it comes to going through the different functions. You could see just how small the screen is with the graphics. Very, very dated, but that is, like I said, this is a 2016. Air condition knobs, very simple. There isn't any kind of dual climate or anything like that in here. You do have some connectivity back in 2016 for you here, but just, you know, the materials, very, very hard plastic. I don't like this design whatsoever. I don't know what they were going for by having the cup holders really low, this area really low, and then this part higher. I mean, I guess it's because, you know, you want your hand to be able to shift, but why? I don't know. I guess so you could put your super big gulp and not block everything, I guess, with that setup. But you have a traditional emergency brake, rubber material on the armrest, so nothing really soft or comfy. Very, very simple opening to the center console. There's not a USB port in there. Don't like these seats. I don't like the color, I don't like the fabric, and I don't like the design of it. Not really the most comfortable either, so I'm gonna have to zonk it there. But remember, people buy these trucks because they have awesome resale value. They're also some of the most dependable trucks on the market, dependable vehicles, period. No sunroof. You do have a lighter color, which is going to help brighten up the interior, which is nice. Why don't you come on over to the driver's side, the business end, and I'll show you what we're working with this Tacoma. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, we're behind the wheel of the Toyota Tacoma. Overall, like I said, I don't really like these seats. They're not very comfortable for my taste. All manual controls on this XP trim level. I would like to see a little bit of power there. Steering wheel, great size. I like the thickness of it. It brings more of that silver from the main part of the dash. It's just kind of, this material is kind of dated now. Same setup with what's around the gauge cluster here. You have a very simplistic analog tachometer, speedometer, you got your coolant temp, and then you have a digital display in the center that gives you different information, but just not really anything much to write home about with the look of it. So other than that, there is a lot of room. In this area, there's a lot of room. I just don't feel very comfortable in the truck, just the way that I'm sitting. And I've adjusted the seat a lot of different ways and it still doesn't feel very comfortable. But let's go ahead and see where your passengers are going to be sitting and see what are the, what is it like back there. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, time to go inside the Tacoma, see what the back seat is like. Nice size opening. Once you get in, you gotta, if you're 6 feet tall, you better crouch your head down and you're gonna be hitting your head on the ceiling. It's tight back here. I mean, I think that's to be expected. This is a midsize. I left the seat exactly where I would have it if I was driving, and you can see that there's barely any room here for my knees. Very, very tight. I still don't like the feel, the look, or anything about this fabric back here. Headroom, it's not too bad. It's really tight on this side, but between the side of my head and how the roof line curves down, it's not too bad. Other than that, it's plain Jane back here. I'm sure a new 2019 Tacoma would have some upgrades, but it's still working on this basic design. But if you're ready, I'm ready to take this one for a spin and check out that V6 and see what kind of power it's got. Let's go take it for a spin. 2016 Toyota Tacoma. We got big guns here.
What's up, guys?
We're going for the ride. I'll be honest, I love the outside. I actually am digging the paint job. The inside is where it's losing it for me. Like I said, I know, and I know you are taking into consideration this is a 2016 and not a 2019, but just the feel of everything feels dated, right? When you agree?
I agree.
And this screen, I mean, it's so small and it looks like an old flip phone screen or something. It's really, really bizarre. The font for like the graphics and everything is very
navigation. You can't read.
It's like a Game Boy or something.
You cannot read the navigation.
Now this has, like we said, the 3.5 V6. It's made it to that 6-speed transmission. What's interesting is that you don't see many cars like this where you don't have to push a button or anything to shift it. You actually just take it and slide it along the different gates here. Now you have the ability to put it into sport mode, which I'm sure many people do with their Tacomas all day long, but you could put that in there and then you could go through the 6-speed automated gearbox just by going up and down with the lever. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it in drive. Fit and finish is excellent. It's a Toyota, they're reliable, they hold their resale value. I mean, I think it's like almost 70%, if not 70%, residual value over just a few years. So I mean, this is something that you got to take into consideration. Placement and everything feels good. The seats I'm not digging. They're not comfy enough, no. And lower leg portion not very supportive, and I don't like the fabric that they use. Now I know that you can go other trim levels and you can get leather and whatnot, but I think the overall dimensions of the seats aren't going to change. As soon as this light turns green, I'm gonna go ahead and get on the loud pedal, and we'll see what kind of acceleration you get from 290 horsepower. Here we go. I'm gonna roll onto it. Drops down. The shifts are smooth. Not too bad. You get some noise coming from the gearbox as it's shifting, but it is pretty responsive. I think, you know, stay tuned because we are going to do a side-by-side between this Tacoma and a Ranger, the new 2019 Ranger that has that EcoBoost engine, 2.3 liter with the 10-speed automatic transmission. Overall, like I said, it's nice. What they did was they took this leather type material and brought it onto the top here, because I'm the type of person, I like to put my arm up here like that, and it's softer. Whereas here, knock knock, who's home, it's harder plastic. So one thing to just take into consideration. Other than that, I mean, how do you feel over there, Tom?
The best attribute is the space for the passenger and the driver. The Colorado, you feel a lot more claustrophobic
in your face.
So that's probably the best idea, is that it's pretty roomy up front. In the back seat, just like every other truck in the class, it is pretty tight. And if you're over 6 feet tall,
yeah, it's like we showed you, it's a mid-sized truck.
A little too close for comfort.
Yeah, it's just going to be. But overall, the driving down the road, even with the style of wheel and tire package that's on this one, rides very smooth. It's not too floaty.
The visibility's great.
Yeah, visibility out the front, the back, and the sides is great. Let me go ahead and see if I can get some clear space in here and show off some of the handling of this Tacoma. But brakes are great. Everything is really placed very, very well in the truck. Wish it had a sunroof, especially at, you know, this type of price point, but you get on the gas, not too shabby. I mean, it's not a slouch by any means. And what's nice is you do have the option between a 4-cylinder or the V6, where with the Ranger, it's It's one engine and one transmission, and that's it. But the engine's very smooth. It does get a little buzzy. When it drops down, it almost sounds like a gaggle of bees underneath the hood. It does get a little weird on the sound, whereas with the Ranger, they worked with the sound a little bit better to give you a little bit better sound. But let me just be quiet so you can hear it. See, I mean, there just seems to be a sound coming from the engine that's not, it doesn't sound very pleasant. And I think if you're gonna have the V6, maybe make it sound a little bit better. But I do like the visibility out over the hood. And everything else is fine. I mean, is it my favorite truck ever? No. But it's still that class leader. I mean, that has to say, yeah, it's reliable, and it's gonna hold its value better than any other truck right now in that segment. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up back at Walker Ford. So stay tuned, and we'll see you in a second.
See you guys.
All right, guys, it's been a wonderful day here at Walker Ford. Definitely, you look at this Toyota Tacoma, it is a 2016, so we gotta keep that in mind. Fit and finish was great, the drive was great, but it would be interesting. I look forward to get my hands on a brand new 2019 very soon and bringing that Tacoma to see what changes were there over the past 3 years. But I definitely want to give a huge shout and a thank you to Frank Walker, Weston Walker, Tracy, Benji, Austin, Mark, Denise, Greg. Everybody here at Walker Ford is so accommodating, even with their pre-owned vehicles. But if these are the trucks that you like to see on Rady's Rides, leave a comment in that comment section. If you have not hit the subscribe button yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. I promise it's worthwhile coming back each and every day. If you are a subscriber, thank you. Thank you for being on this journey. Thank you for being so loving, caring, and just being part of the Rady's Rides family. I appreciate everything that you guys do to support Rady's Rides. Definitely check out my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages. All Rady's Rides original content all the time. I know a lot of you are saying, hey, I want a Rady's Rides shirt. I want a Rady's Rides hoodie. Where do you get that? Click the button somewhere above my head. That'll take you right to the Rady's Rides merch shop on Spreadshirt. Anything that you're willing and able to do to help promote and support the channel. So thankful and grateful for all that. Remember, this is YouTube Cameraman Appreciation Year, so definitely want to give a lot of love, a lot of appreciation to Big Guns McGee. I think with more love and more support, his arms will get bigger. I believe it. So leave some love for him in the comment section. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.